We have a shocking New York Jets trade report to go over today, and this is genuinely insane. As the NFL season is really starting to show who is a contender and who is not this year, and what teams are going to be making changes, and the Jets with their quarterback position is known to be one of them, with the Jets having a bunch of draft picks and looking towards the top of the draft in regards to finding a quarterback with names like Fernando Mendoza pop up. There's a lot to go over, but outside of that, there has been reports as well that the Jets will entertain any situation to try to fix their quarterback play. And with that in mind, it also means that the possibility of trading for a veteran quarterback is out there as well, as an insider did report recently as well. We're going to go over all of that, discuss one of the quarterbacks who has been named as a team where the Jets will be a suitor for, and a whole lot more as well. So guys, make sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss any of this. And also, if you're part of that 71% who is not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Jets update. We are posting videos every day, making sure that you stay updated with everything New York Jets. But let's jump right into it, guys. There's a lot to go over right now. As we know, Darren Mougey will be making changes for the New York Jets this offseason because the Jets, their quarterback position was not solved by Justin Fields. The Jets brought on Fields, saying that maybe he could be able to turn it around the way that other players sometimes can. However, thus far, that experiment has been a failure. The Jets have 2 wins on the season. They won both those games in pretty surprising fashion. One of them, the Jets scored a ton of points against the Browns. A lot of it was thanks to their special teams, which has been absolutely excellent this year, unlike the Jets offense, which, especially when it comes to the passing, has been brutal. Justin Fields has struggled a lot, gotten benched, and overall just not had too many great performances, with games that have routinely gone, well under 100 yards passing. He has not been able to perform whatsoever, so it's no surprise to see that Darren Mougey and the Jets are looking at every option, whether that's going at the draft and getting Fernando or Ty or someone like that who's going to show up and be able to be a young rookie difference maker. However, the other opportunity also lies with trades, and there have been quarterbacks who have been listed on the trade market, including this one right here in none other than Kyler Murray. Now, there was a report on the Jets with Kyler Murray, and it was mentioned that an offseason trade is very realistic, if not likely, as Mike Florio mentioned, who said the current regime did not draft him, the Cardinals' current regime that is, and they did not sign him to that second contract. That current regime has yet to be able to pick its own quarterback, and with the current regime staring at 3 years of not making it to the postseason, one way to a successful finagle of a 4th season will be to lobby ownership for the ability to draft, to sign, or to trade for a new starter, despite Kyler Murray making the money he's making, meaning the team would have to find a way around that contract. Now, a trade is one of them, and they would probably have to eat some of that contract anyway if they make a trade, because it is a whole lot. And as mentioned by Damian Woody, people presume the Jets, with their bounty of picks, will use to draft their quarterback, but don't dismiss them acquiring a vet QB via trade. Now, Woody is an analyst now after playing for the Jets for a while, so though he doesn't necessarily know this regime, as Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn were long not around when Damian Woody was playing, he does have some inside information, so it's totally possible the Jets go either way. And with Damian Woody saying that, this is the way that I perceive this out of the Jets, and that is that Darren Mougey is exhausting all options. He's not saying no to anything. He's not closing the door on anything. We've seen that he's been like that in regards to trading his own players away, specifically Sauce Gardner, who Mougey didn't have interest in trading, but also when the Colts kept coming back with better and better and better and better offers for the all-pro cornerback, Mougey decided, this is insane value. I would be nuts to turn this down. Sauce is not currently having his best year with the Jets. He's also a man corner in a zone system. Let's move him for picks and start to restart this thing, free up a whole lot more cap space in the process, and also figure out what's next for our team as we go through this rebuild right now. That is what happened. Even though Mougey had just signed Gardner to an extension around 3 months prior, he didn't care because he got enough value for Sauce that it made sense to him. So we know the Jets will exhaust all options to try to figure out what the best means of creating a winning football team is. There's a world where they decide, you know what? We want a top quarterback. We want one this year. We are going to try to go get one. At the same time, There's also a world where that's not the case. And the Jets say, we like the 2027 draft. We're going to draft other skill positions. Maybe we need another wide receiver. We need another defensive back after trading Sauce. We could use an edge rusher. There's a bunch of other positions that we can target right now at the top of the draft. And then later on, see how the draft plays out and if we still do want to draft a quarterback or if we ultimately want to wait till 2027 and go with whoever we signed in free agency as a veteran to continue this bridge before we find a franchise guy. The other option, of course, is trading for someone like a quarterback who would be on the open market, and Kyler Murray is one of them right there. As Bleacher Report mentioned, the Jets are a suitor for Kyler Murray, saying the New York Jets could target a veteran like Murray if they don't fall within draft range of a top 2026 prospect. Justin Fields hasn't looked like a long-term answer, and Tyrod Taylor is a good veteran backup at best. Theoretically, the Jets could audition Murray for a year and cut ties in 2027 if he doesn't elevate the offense. New York is clearly comfortable with the idea of trying out an unconventional dual-threat quarterback and former first-round disappointment, which is exactly what it did to Fields. The Jets own 3 2027 first-round picks and could structure this deal so that they keep the 2 highest selections if Murray doesn't return to Pro Bowl form in a form of a conditional first type of deal. Now, that would give them the option to still chasing a top quarterback prospect for the 2027 draft if Murray doesn't pan out. If Murray were to reestablish himself as a high-end starter, the Jets would have plenty of draft capital with which to build around him in 2027. They also could offload Justin Fields' $20 million base salary in the process. Now, just to look at the trade that got proposed here, what we see is a deal where the Jets receive Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals receive a second-round pick in 2026, that conditional 27 first, which would be the worst of all of them, assuming that Murray does not return to Pro Bowl form, and then Justin Fields as well. I can't tell you how little I believe this trade would ever happen. First of all, I don't see the Jets giving up a first and a second-round pick for a guy who has struggled to the point in Arizona where he's getting benched. I mean, there's moments where he's just not the starter. And I know he's dealt with injuries throughout his career, which is another reason to not trade a first and a second round pick. I don't care that it's conditional. It's a first round pick regardless, whether it's a high or a low first round pick. That's a first. That is trading for a guy that is making a lot of money and that the Jets would hope is turning it around. Well, really, there's no guarantee that he's going to actually turn it around, especially after dealing with injuries throughout his career. Now, as we see when we saw this fan respond to Damien Woody, he said vet QBs have not worked out for us, which Woody responded neither as rookies, and that you never know what could happen. Now, Kyler Murray, he's played in 5 games this year. Between injuries and just getting benched, he's had 5 games where he's won 2-3, has 962 passing yards with 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He has not by any means been shaking the world up with his abilities. He used to be looked at as an elite rushing quarterback. I mean, scored 11 rushing touchdowns in 2020. Since then, that has really just regressed to this year. In his 5 games, he has 1. On top of that, he only has 173 yards in those 5 games. His rushing has taken a hit. Yes, he's still dual threat, but we haven't seen it as much. And he's gotten a little better with it this year, as he's got 34.6 yards per game rushing, which is more than the past 2 seasons in 2023 and 2024. But at the end of the day, it's not still the guy who once was looking like an elite future rushing quarterback, who now has struggled to even be a solid quarterback whatsoever. So to trade any sort of value like that for Kyler Murray makes absolutely no sense to me at all. Murray, especially with that contract, I know there is the opt-out that you could have, but at the same time, it doesn't warrant giving draft capital away at all. It just seems like a bad idea. And I know Justin Fields has not been a great quarterback in 9 games, having 1,259 passing yards with 7 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's struggled. He's had games where he's looked good, specifically against the Bengals and against the Steelers, but then games where he's looked atrocious. And there's been a good amount of them. Against the Bills is one of them, but it was pretty routine that Justin Fields has had terrible games and is not going to be the quarterback of the Jets next year, no matter who is. It's not going to be Justin Fields. So we know that as much, so it makes no sense to go out there and try to... I'm not saying the Jets have to draft a quarterback. They absolutely don't. If they don't like the slate, draft other positions of need. But I mean, put yourself in position to have a good quarterback in the near future. Trading for Kyler Murray does not feel like the correct way to do that. If you're going to make a trade and he's likely not going to be available, go out there and at least try to trade for Joe Burrow. I don't think that would work, but if the Jets are going to try to make a quarterback trade, it should really start and end with Joe Burrow. That's the only thing that I see even as worth going over. And again, it's just as likely that I'm playing quarterback for the Jets next year. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Jets. Lots of really cool videos coming up as well, so you want to make sure to be subscribed. So subscribe right now. Now, go do it. Yeah, you who's still watching this video for no reason, because I'm just going to say it again. Subscribe.